Okay, this is going to be a wrap on the star wheel. I guess this is a series of 3 videos, so this will be the final wrap. Maybe I'll rename the first 2 as part 1 and part 2. We'll make this part 3. So this video is going to be really short. Saturday morning out here again. We have a beautiful day, probably going to be about 24 degrees Celsius today here in Southern California, so we got a nice day, and temperatures are just right for shop time. So I'm out here in the shop and I'm going to cut some more teeth. I haven't done anything since last week, so we got about I don't know, maybe four more teeth to cut on the star wheel. I think we've cut about 8 of them so far. So I'll fast forward through this. Each tooth, I timed it. Each tooth takes about 15 minutes to cut. So if you were making this star wheel from the beginning to the end, it would probably take about 3 hours with 12 teeth, right? So not fast, but so far it's absolutely bulletproof. Works perfectly. I can't disassemble it and reassemble it again without getting things out of alignment. So that's one little problem I see with this fixture. So if I had the fixture to build again, or I could actually do it, I would key the index wheel or something, so that way I could take one off and take it apart, put it back together again, get it in exactly the same spot. But if you got to go back and touch up a tooth or something like that, that's no problem. Everything is exactly where it should be, so no problem with that. So anyway, I'm gonna tape some footage here with the camera, and maybe I'll cut out portions, or maybe I'll fast forward through it. I don't know which. But actually, I don't want this video to get very long. I want it to be fairly short. So anyway, that's where I'm at, and we're going to get going here and cut some more teeth. So actually, I was having to make a vertical cut initially, but I figured out that I don't really need to do that. I can go right up against my stop and make a final cut without having to ratchet the feed over. So actually it works quite nice now. So I just got to be a little careful at the end when I get to the end each time, and make sure that I don't overdo it. So anyway, here we go. Okay, we're at the end of that tooth and I'm getting ready to rotate it. So I just wanted to put this on video. One thing I've been doing is I have some, let me turn the viewer around here so I can see what I'm doing. One thing is I got a couple feeler gauges and I'm fairly close to the top of my my vertical axis, so I can actually check here and see if I'm in the right place, or let me put it that way, double check. Also, I know where I'm going on the dial here, so that way I get my vertical height you know, right on. So I'm gonna rotate the star wheel one more tooth and start again. So all I got to do is just loosen up these two cap head screws over here. And then I'm going to move this piece down to the next spot. Make sure there's no crud in here. There we go. And make sure it's tight against the stop. I hope you can see that. I hope I'm in the viewer. And tighten up the two cap screws again. And we're ready to go for the next tooth. You got to get these good and tight. They work against each other a little bit. There we go. So I know that I've come down about 250 thousandths, so these are 50 thousandths, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's 50 thousandths. So I just got to touch off again. And let's see, go up against my stop first of all. There we are, we're touched off, so we're ready to go. So I think I'm going to be turning the camera off and on because you don't want to watch all this. It's the same thing as we just went through a few minutes ago. So shut the camera off and start another tooth here. Okay, we're on the final cut of the next tooth. And this is working out absolutely perfectly. We'll be rotating again in a few minutes. No vertical cut. I'm able to, this is the last full stroke, and then I'm going back and hitting my stop without actually moving the star wheel and making one more little cut across there. So there we go. I can check it. I can check it with my feeler gauge. See how we are, but I'm right on the spot and the feeler gauge fits perfect. So I have the dial here. I'm able to read it, so I know where I'm at. So it's time now to rotate to another tooth. I'm going to clean some of these chips out of here. You notice I got a glove on because I'm sitting down here in front of the shaper, and the way I'm oriented, it'll wear a blister on my hand. So I just put a glove on that hand. That solves the problem. Put this in the next notch. Oh, guess what? This is the last tooth. I thought maybe I had a couple more to go, but I guess this is the last one. So it's only been about 20 minutes since we started this video to give you an idea of the time. Each tooth is probably taking less than 15 minutes. Okay, there we go. We're ready to go. So I'm going to go back 5 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Touch off again. There we go, we're touched off. So we're ready to go for the final tooth. So I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm gonna show a couple minutes of the final cut. We're about halfway down on this tooth, and we're approaching the end of this star wheel, and we're also approaching the first tooth that was cut in the last video. So I just zoomed in on this. You can see this last cut. I'm not gonna leave the camera on for very long. I'm sure I'm probably getting in the way here. That's one problem trying to make a video. Okay, I'll bring you back when I'm finished. Probably should be just a couple more minutes, so we don't have far to go. I'll bring you back in a few minutes. I just wanted to show you a close-up of the cut. So okay, this will be the final cut. The moment of truth is approaching. But it looks pretty good. Looks like we came out right on the money. Okay, we're getting down the last couple strokes. A little bit more. There's the stop. There we are. That's it. Okay, let me zoom out now, and we'll finalize this thing. I'll zoom in a little bit. Looks pretty good. We'll see. Okay, well, we can see what's going on here. Turn this around the other way. All right. Okay, here we go. Wish I could see this. The camera's not in the right angle. All right. So there we go. So see if I can get some of the crap out of here. Okay. Let's see what we need to do here. Let's loosen this up. We're done, so we can break this down now. I think my explanation in the last video was probably good enough, but just in case somebody has a question. Let's see here. Maybe let's see if we can loosen this. Let's see. That's 7/16 there. Let's take off the take this off. This is just a test piece, so take the glove off. So let's pull this off. So there we go. That's the index wheel. Very simple. Just a round wheel with 12 holes in it, and it has a little inset on the other side, kind of a register, I guess, to let it register against the shaft here. So anyway, that's that part. And let's loosen this. These are just 2 T-nuts that go into the table here. So that's pretty simple. We should be able to slide this a little bit here. For some reason I got a bunch of swarf down in there. So we can slide that back, take this arbor out. So there's the arbor right there. All it is just a piece of dowel. I don't know what I made it. This was made from just scraps around the shop, so it's not any particular size. This thing was 0.758 according to the calipers, so I probably made it out of a piece of 7/8 rod. Okay, and the star wheel looks absolutely perfect. After I got going, I was a little bit more accurate as to my depth. So I see some of these were a few thousandths difference on the depth, but that actually would not make any difference. So it came out absolutely perfect. Actually, this would be perfectly functional in the shaper. It would work absolutely just fine, no problem. So there's that. And then this is just a block of aluminum is all it is. I bored a hole through it, and I took the bandsaw and I just cut a slit in here, that's all. A 1/16 of an inch blade. Actually it'd be nicer if probably it's a little bit more, but that works just fine. A couple T-nuts, that's it. Very simple little fixture, and that enables you to cut a star wheel or anything else you want to cut. All you got to do is, if you need more teeth on it, you just got to make a different index wheel. That's all. Now, the diameter of this index wheel probably wouldn't let you make too many more teeth. But anyway, that gives you the idea. And the fixture is, like I say, it's just scraps, right, that were laying around the shop. So if you needed it bigger or smaller or whatever you need to do, would be just fine. You know, it wouldn't make any difference. I didn't end up with much meat right here, so that would, but that said, if I'd been thinking, I would have moved the hole over a little bit, but this little ledge was an afterthought, so that was the reason for that. So anyway, I'll call off now. We'll call this a wrap. We made a successful star wheel on the hand shaper. So there it is again, and it looks just fine. I don't know if I can do any good to zoom in on it or what. I don't know. Let's see here. Well, there it is. So I'll call off now, and thanks for watching. Hope somebody got something out of this little video.